Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So I've been seeing a lot of comments like this saying that Michael Dapa struggled to play the villain character Ebuka in Wings to Fly, and honestly I have mixed feelings about it. Yes, did he struggle? The answer is yes and no, and I'm going to tell you exactly why, because this conversation is deeper than just one performance. It touches on something bigger, something that affects a lot of actors, not just Michael Dapa. So before you jump into conclusion, let's really talk about this properly. If you enjoy honest movie reviews and deep analysis like this, make sure you like this video, drop your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to follow for more content like this. Now let's get into it. Let's start with the no. Did Michael Dapa struggle? No, not exactly. And here is the reason. A lot of people are reacting based on what they are used to, not necessarily what they are seeing. Michael Dapa has built a strong image for himself over time. Most people know him as the calm, romantic, emotional lover boy. That is the version of him the audience has connected with again and again. So when you suddenly take that same actor and put him in a completely different role, especially a villain, it creates a kind of shock. It feels very unfamiliar and uncomfortable, and sometimes people mistake that discomfort for poor performance. But in reality, it's not always about the actor doing a bad job. It's about the audience struggling to adjust. This is what we call typecasting. When an actor plays the same type of role repeatedly, the audience begins to box them into that identity. So when they try something new, people resist it. Not because it's bad, but because it is different. And difference, as we all know, can feel wrong at first. So when people say Michael struggled, we have to ask, did he really struggle? Or are people just not used to seeing him like that? Because those are two different things. Yes, let's go deeper into this, guys. Typecasting is actually one of the biggest challenge actors face in the industry. Once you become known for one role, especially one that people love, it becomes very hard to break out of it. The audience becomes comfortable. Producers become comfortable. Even directors sometimes become comfortable. And before you know it, you are stuck playing the same character again and again. Now, here's the problem. When the actor finally decides to step out and try something new, people don't see the effort. That's just it. They don't see it. They don't see the range. They don't even give it time. They just say, this doesn't feel right. And before you know it, they start giving negative reviews. And that is exactly what is happening here. Michael is trying to stretch himself, trying to show a different side of his talent. But instead of people appreciating the risk, they are comparing it to what they already know. And that comparison is unfair, because growth requires change, and change will always feel uncomfortable at first. Now, let's be very clear about something. Michael Dapa is a good actor, and I mean that seriously. You cannot consistently deliver emotional roles, connect with audiences, and still be relevant if you don't have talent. That level of consistency is not luck, it is skill. So the idea that he suddenly cannot handle a villain role doesn't completely add up, because acting is not just about one type of character. A truly good actor should be able to adapt, and from what we have seen over time, Michael has that foundation. He understands emotion, he understands timing, he understands presence. So stepping into a villain role should not be impossible for him. It should be a challenge. Yes, a big one at that, but not a weakness. Now, let's talk about the yes. Did he struggle? Yes, in some ways, it felt like he did. But here is the important part. That struggle may not be entirely his fault. And this is where a lot of people are missing the point. Because acting is not a one-man job. Honestly, acting is collaboration. And one of the most important people in that collaboration is the director. The director is responsible for shaping the performance. They are the ones who guide the actor. They push the actor, they challenge the actor, they help the actor fully become the character. So when a performance feels incomplete, we also have to look at the direction. Yes, did the director push enough? Did they demand more depth? Did they help the actor fully transform into the villain? Because playing a villain is not just about looking serious or acting tough. It requires layers, intensity, psychological depth. The audience needs to feel something. They need to feel something. It could be fear, it could be tension, it could be discomfort. And if that feeling is not strong enough, the performance can feel flat, even if the actor is trying. Now, let's be honest, guys. There were moments in Wings to Fly where the character Ebuka didn't fully land. Not completely. Something felt slightly off, and that is what people are reacting to. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't deeply convincing either. It felt like the character was still on the surface, like there was more inside that didn't fully come out. And this is where proper direction makes all the difference, because sometimes an actor has more to give, but they need to be pushed to reach that level. Now let's go back to that comment. Michael Dapa is a great actor, but I think the trouble is with the villain role. He needed a little more coaching to give us the best experience. The story was good, but the flow was a bit off. And honestly, that comment is very fair, because it doesn't attack his talent, it acknowledges it, but it also points out the gap. And that gap is not just about ability, it's more about execution, guidance, and depth. Now, this is the most important part. If Michael wants to grow and truly be respected as a versatile actor, he needs to make a bold decision. He needs to reduce the lover boy roles, not completely stop it, but reduce them, because staying in that comfort zone will limit him. And the longer he stays there, the harder it will be for people to accept him in other roles. He needs more challenging characters, more complex roles, more uncomfortable performances. That is how actors grow. That is how they gain respect. And that is how they prove range. So, did Michael Dapa struggle as Ebuka? Yes and no. No, because part of the reaction is coming from audience bias. People are simply not used to seeing him in that kind of role. And yes, because the performance didn't fully reach its deepest potential. But that doesn't mean he failed. No, not at all. It means there is room to grow, and growth is not a bad thing. It is very necessary. Now, I want to hear from you guys. Do you think Michael Dapa really struggled in Wings to Fly? Or do you think people are just not ready to see him as a villain? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's have a real conversation about it. And if you enjoy this breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more honest reviews and analysis. I will see you in the next video. Bye.